What's up, fuckers? Welcome back to Whiplash Incorporated. I'm your host, Brandon, as always. Today, we're going to talk about Metallica again. This episode is going to be cigar-oriented and music-oriented. If you haven't noticed, I am smoking a cigar, like I always am. This one is something I've been trying to get my hands on for a while, and finally found a retailer near me that sells them. This is almost was a M81 blackened, or blackened M81, the cigar they just put out to go with the blackened whiskey, which I have not tried yet, which I'm trying to get my hands on too. This was the Royal Corona size, or the Churchill size. It was long ones. So far, they only have like Maduros, the Maduro wrapper. It's a full body cigar. It's kind of harsh. You know, if you're a new smoker, I wouldn't recommend choosing this first. But it's a very, very good smoke. It's not too harsh, but it's definitely a full body cigar. It's very tasty. It's got some sweetness to it, some spice, very spicy, I would say. Kind of tingles the tongue a little bit. It's not the best Maduro I've had, but it's definitely not the worst. It's definitely up there on some of the cigars I've had. They are very, very good cigars. They're very well put together. Whoever the company that actually produces them or manufactures them, I forget who they are. But it's a good cigar, especially for the price. Like $10 a cigar, you can't beat it. They're supporting, Metallica. I think James was the one that spearheaded this, as well as the whiskey. I'm pretty sure he spearheaded the whiskey as well. I'm not sure about that. I think there is some available. I went on the website. It looked like there was some available. So maybe in the next couple of weeks I might get a bottle. Maybe I'll do a whiskey review, because I've been getting into whiskeys a lot. Been trying everything. Like, I just got into Scotch. Not Scotch. No, Scotch whiskey. I like Scotch. I just had Irish whiskey for the first time. Tullamore, DEW, some typical shit, but never had Irish whiskey before. Usually would only drink like bourbon and rye. Excuse me. I have some Buffalo Trace that I cannot find anywhere around here. In Pennsylvania, my buddy from work had to get me some. He's from Jersey. And he's like, they have it, and there's liquor stores down there. I can't find it for the life of me. Shit, you could find it all the way over in England. Matt the Riffmaster, he was drinking that for a while. He was the one that actually turned me on to it. It's not about whiskey. This is about Metallica and cigars. But I highly, 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 highly recommend you try these blackened M81s if you have some experience smoking. If you don't have experience smoking, if you're a new smoker, I'm not going to tell you not to, because one of my first cigars was like a Perdomo, one of their Maduros. It was too strong for me. I remember smoking that and fucking burning my throat and shit, and I know how to do it. But start off with something lighter like a Connecticut. But the wrapper doesn't mean that it's going to be, a mild or strong cigar. Just as happens to be a strong Maduro. You could get a Connecticut, not typical, but you can get some, spicy Connecticut's. Gooses. But yeah, definitely try it out. These are very good cigars. They're starting to go out on me. Come on. Don't go out on me. Don't go out on me now. All right. I know, we need a Vic lighter. Give me a break. getting towards the end, it's kind of getting a little bitter, but still retaining that flavor, the flavor throughout. It's pretty much the same flavor throughout the cigar. Not really much change, which is fine. I really don't look for a lot of different profiles on my cigar. As long as it's a good cigar and it tastes good, train of thought. Oh yeah. I recommend. I haven't had the Robusto yet, but this is basically a fucking Robusto. So, because I scraped the fucking end out this morning so I can smoke it again and get all the fucking ash out of it. But I just mud up clipping the fucking tip off of it, so it's giving it like a fresh surface. So smoking this really short, stubby thing that I created from the cigar, because I smoked most of it yesterday. Put it in my humidor. After cleaning the tip out of it, put it in the humidor. Smoked the rest of it this morning, and this is what was left of it. But I've said it before, I like longer cigars. They burn cooler. You have less chance of overheating them. You can overheat any cigar if you really try. Keep puffing up, but you're gonna burn your mouth and burn your throat. Jesus, there's so much fucking traffic on a Saturday on 76. Jesus Christ. God damn. But in other news, still staying in the realm of Metallica, they have released a new song. It's called "If Darkness Had a Sun." Not really impressed with this next one they came out with. It's not a bad song. It's just kind of meh. You know what I mean? Like the drums in the other two songs were okay. For some reason, on this song, I don't know if I'm just hearing it now, but they're really thin, like really clicky, especially the bass drums. Really clicky. And the riffs are okay. They're nothing special. There's a little bit towards the end that's kind of like a little bit progressive in the way that they're doing. With the drums going like a simple beat, and he's kind of going like like over this, like the or whatever. It's like a simple beat, and he's kind of like doing a different like style, like tempo, or chugging or down picking. And that was kind of cool. You can kind of bop your head to it, but it's really nothing special. Kirk solos on all the new songs I'm not really impressed with, but I'm not a solo guy as it is. James is my the guy I try and emulate as much as I can with playing guitar, and I want to get into singing. I even kind of look like him. The fucking goatee and stuff back here, like back in Death Magnetic days. Death Magnetic, 2007 to like 2010 is my era. That's when I got into them. When I think of Metallica, I think of Death Magnetic. I've done my story on Metallica before, but I'm not really impressed with this new song. James's voice sounds good. He sounds. You could tell that he's had to kind of redo the way he sings. It's not. I don't want to say it's not powerful. He's got more of a rasp to it that's not anything that he's done before. I guess because his voice is as a very mature voice. He's pushing 60. If not, I think he just turned 60 or something like that. But he still sounds strong. They're very, very good harmonies. I would say him and Rob are harmonizing very well. It's not like anything like Jason and James, because I think Jason Newsted and James Hetfield had the best harmonies out of all their albums. Jason never had the best harmonies. But this one wasn't really pushing the envelope. I guess they really don't push the envelope that much anymore. It's kind of they're Metallica. That's their own. I think they're their own genre now. I mean, I feel like when they write albums nowadays, especially with Hardwired, now this new one, they kind of incorporate all the different styles they've done over the years and mix mash them in the fucking one Frankenstein, you know, sound. And I loved Hardwired. I'm sure, like, even on Hardwired, there were some songs I didn't like as much as others. Like, Now That We're Dead's not really, I don't really get into that. Confusion's kind of the same, kind of just meh. But I still, overall, really enjoyed the album. Lux Aeterna is probably my favorite one that they've released so far because it's that older style sound. Especially James's, you know, that main riff kind of like reminds me of like the Misfits, and definitely some like I said to myself, like, wow, this reminds me of like Phantom Lord or something off of Kill 'Em All. Screaming Suicide I like too, because that reminded me of something awful like Hardwired, like it'll remind me of like Atlas Rise, you know. But this new one just didn't really. It was meh. It didn't really blow any wind up my skirt. I hope that this album isn't going to be... It's definitely not rushed because they've had since 2016. I mean, obviously they toured and everything. You know, they're writing while they're touring. Not while they're touring, but whenever they can, they write, and then obviously they have to go and record it all. But it doesn't... I don't think it'd be rushed. It's not like they're rushing, like, oh, they have one out every year. When 2016 was what? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 7 years ago? Wow. Yeah, 7 years ago. About the same time period between Hardwired and Death Magnetic. See, Hardwired has a special place in my heart because that was I mean, obviously I was alive for the release of Saint Anger and Death Magnetic, but I was a little young to have it impact me like a new album. Like I remember after getting obsessed with them, listening to them, and like, oh, I can't wait for them to make a new album. And I'd sit and I'd think about it. I'd think and fantasize about going and seeing them. I finally did. I think it was May of 2017 is when I went to go see them. But then when Hardwired came out, especially when the song dropped, I had the same reaction to Hardwired, the song Hardwired, the same reaction I had that to Lux Aeterna. You know, but I wasn't as excited for this new album because I didn't really know it was coming out. They were kind of keeping it hush-hush. And then I got an email saying, new song, Lux Aeterna, new album, 72 Seasons. I really don't like, before I get into like my reaction both to, you know, comparing them to both songs, I really am not a big fan of the whole yellow spiel they're doing. I mean, the album cover looks cool with all the burnt shit and stuff, but I don't know. I think yellow is a bad choice. Because, you know, you come from Hardwired to fucking that face, where all their faces are melded together on James's head. That freaked me out the first time I saw it. I thought that was really cool looking. Just kind of set the whole vibe for the album. And I really hope that they got another song on this new album, like Spit Out the Bone. Like, that was the perfect cherry on top. The last fucking song on the record, if you didn't get the, you know, extended version, whatever is the extended version, the deluxe version. But yeah, I hope there's something on there like that. But back to what I was saying about my reaction towards Lux Aeterna compared to Hardwired. You know, when I first heard Hardwired, sitting at my dad's computer, it was the same thing. I saw something on my, new posted feed on YouTube. It said Metallica. I'm like, ooh, I got to release a new song. And I'm playing it, and I'm sitting there, and the open riff starts, and it's real fucking thrashy, and I started crying. I'm like, tears of joy, I'm excited. The same thing happened with Lux Aeterna. So that's a good sign for things to come. But I really hope that this new album is going to be a contender for Hardwired, because Hardwired was a very, very good comeback, so to say, from Death Magnetic. But Hardwired sonically is very, very different than Death Magnetic. Death Magnetic's production is definitely a lot worse than Hardwired's. But Hardwired, the guitar tone and everything was a lot less overdriven than Death Magnetic. But I like Death Magnetic because it kind of had that, not as well polished, mix like the new albums do. Kind of in the same vein as black metal, gives it that raw edge to it, especially on songs like That Was Just Your Life and All Nightmare Long and My Apocalypse. I found the guitars on Death Magnetic very, very, very chunky, not chunky, but like kind of like fucking sandpaper, like you know what I mean? And I think that's another thing about this new album, is I think it sounds too polished. Or, I don't know, it's just, there's not a lot of bass to it. Like, from everything from the Black Album on, even in the earlier albums, they had a very good bass to it. Even Hardwired, it's just, this, obviously the joke with fucking Injustice for All is no bass, but still, it had some like low end to the guitars, and I think the way they mix this new stuff, it's not, the guitars don't pop as much as other albums. I don't know. I guess we'll see when it comes out. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm not disappointed with this new song. Like I said, it's not bad, but it's not like amazing. I guess we'll see. It's probably it's probably the case that they liked it. Obviously they like it. They wrote it, and they wanted to put it out because they thought that was good, and they're putting out their music for themselves. And that's all I could ask out of them. Our jobs as fans is to support them, no matter what they do. Even when they, for fucking, I don't know if they were joking about fucking Lady Gaga or making her a fifth member of the band. I remember fucking reading that, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I hope they're not serious. I mean, I said to myself, I'm like, I would support them. I said this to other people, I would support them in anything they do, because they're my band. But, Jesus, thank God they didn't go through it. Because I know James wasn't happy with that. Especially with the whole fucking Grammys of his fucking mic being cut. I got my opinions on that. I won't go into it because I don't want to get political or anything, but that was fucked up. That's the fucking record label. I think this was before they started Blackend Records. I'm not sure. Fucking publicist or whatever, fucking, oh, you should do this with Lady Gaga. It'll bring good press. No, what brought good press was putting Master of Puppets in fucking Stranger Things. That was good press. That was a good idea. Not fucking mixing pop and metal. Especially fucking something like a pop star like Lady Gaga. I'm sorry. I don't care if she listens to it on her free time, but especially with the fucking background dancers trying to mosh, look like fucking idiots. I didn't like. I think a lot of people share the same opinion as me. You know. Notice how I didn't mention Lulu when I was talking about the albums and how they sounded. Let's just put Lulu in a different, you know, a different fucking dimension. Like, I was listening to Speak and Destroy, the podcast. I forget what the dude's name is. He was saying with the Lulu album that they should have recorded it and then like put it on the back burner, like put it in a vault somewhere, to where when Metallica inevitably retires or whatever, that whoever's in charge of their name, like how they're still releasing like Elvis greatest hits or like shit from the vault, you know what I mean? They could have like put that out and be like, oh, this is something Metallica did that was kind of cool. You know, I think that would have been a good idea as well as this dude, what he said on the podcast. That would have been a good idea than just releasing it as an album, because I never got through the whole thing. And I've never gotten through that album. I don't think I ever will. But like I said, I support the decisions they make, and you know that's how you be a good fan. I mean, I never agreed with, you know, people. I guess the time period back then, because their sound change was so drastic, and the whole shit with Napster. I mean, I was very young when that shit with Napster came about. I was born in '97, so. I understand. I mean, Lars was right. He saw the writing on the wall. He saw the bigger picture, and shit's being stolen every day. I even think that Spotify it's not. They're still getting paid because they're playing their songs and they get royalties from. I don't know if it's called royalties or a cut of what Spotify makes, but how it is, how it was, and how it always will be is selling the actual music. That's why for the longest time I was buying their music from like Amazon Music, buying it actually. So most of that money goes to them. You know, that and buying merch and going to shows. That's how you stick by your band. Everyone knows this. All metalheads know this. Metal always was. It not spoke to me, but because it was a mainstream. You know, metal can only be so mainstream. It is still an aggressive form of music. You know. Look at all the fucking halftime shows and shit. It's just all the same recycled fucking pop stars. Do something differently. Metal has variety. I mean, I'm sure someone who doesn't listen to it all sounds the same. I could say that about rap. I could say that about pop music, because to me it does. But this is something about the genre. I guess it's the rebelliousness of it, the pushing against the norm that always spoke to me, and speaks to a lot of people. It always did something emotionally for me. I always get emotionally invested in my music, and especially Metallica. You can feel the song. You can feel the message that they're trying to portray. You can feel the feeling of what the writer felt while writing the song. Like, I was listening to Unforgiven today, and actually listening to the lyrics, I really relate to it. You know, just a young man, you know, new blood joins his earth, and quickly he's subdued through constant strain and years ago. You know what I mean? You know, the young man learns their rules and he grows up, becomes a man, beaten, and go throughout life. And and then dying a tired old man with all, you know, having all these goals and never achieving them. That's most of our lives. You gotta make life, make your life, you know, make shit out of life to what you can do, your ability you can do. You know, make it the best you can be. Make it the best for you and for your family. Definitely growing older puts shit in perspective. And going back and listening to all this music that I didn't understand before and listening to it now has a different impact on me. That's why I listen to the same shit I listened to when I was a kid. I don't really branch out. Yes, I've branched out to different genres and stuff, but you always find yourself going back to where you started. And for me, that's Metallica. That's why I talk about them all the time. You know, the shit that I've gone through in my life, if I didn't have my music, and especially them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I don't know where I'd be. It kept me sane. It was my blanket. It was the warm hug that I never got. You know? Throw your headphones on, lock your door, and go to a different world. Well, I got really deep. It was just supposed to be about the song and the cigars, and I fucking start ranting. This is what you get. A fucking 27-minute long rant. Well, I'll stop chewing your guys' ear off. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button, because it lets me know if you want to see more. And you know, there's 100 of you now. Thank you for the 100 of you that subscribe. And, you know, if you like the video, push the like button. That's what you do when you like a video. Or push the dislike button. It lets me know whether the video did good or not. Well, this is it for now. I will see you in the next one.